up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where there is some absolutely key topics to discuss. Firstly, Joao Laporta has set his eyes now on Nico Williams to be his dream signing this summer. It is according to reports that once he figures out and solves the financial situation right now in Barcelona, i.e. returning back to the 1-1 rule, number one target, he's going to go absolutely all out for Nico Williams this summer. We'll talk about that. Of course, alongside the left winger, the club are desperate for a midfield reinforcement, and we have some reports about the regular names that we've talked about a lot. Mikel Merino, Joshua Kimmich, Amadou Onana, but also Adrien Rabiot offering himself to Barcelona, of course, currently a free agent. We'll talk about that. Also, the situation of the two Joaos following Barcelona announced that they're going to leave, and of course, deleting those posts. What's the current situation, and how will Barcelona keep them, and how so far right now the negotiations right now are going with Man City and Atletico Madrid. Hansi Flick has made his first big decision in regards to the Inigo Martinez and Eric Garcia battle. He has chosen one to keep in the first team, and the other, of course, to sell or get rid of in some capacity. Have some big updates as well around Mikayil Faye and his future. A lot of talk, a lot of reports about preseason, who will be involved, what youngsters. We'll talk about that as well. Also, La Liga making some upgrades to the league as well, which we will discuss in this video. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try and get again to 250 likes on this video. It would be so much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. We're first going to be discussing, of course, the reports about the main target signing for Barcelona this summer, and that is Nico Williams. Now, of course, scored against Italy. Hype is on the absolute peak and rise for Nico Williams, and Ben Aid from Deportivo came out saying that in Barcelona, they realize now that the Nico deal cannot be wasted. The Athletic Bilbao player is a major target for the Catalan club in this transfer market. Laporta's management will make every effort this summer to obtain him. Now, the way that I interpret this report is that they're gonna try their best. There's no try your best. Go out there and sign him. You're telling me that Football Club Barcelona cannot afford a 60 million euro signing? I mean, come on. We suffered last summer not spending a penny. Can we at least spend some money this summer? We've made already some good money for some sales so far. Not outrageous money, but money nonetheless. Like, come on. Like, there's no trying. Get the job done. Also, Luis Rojo from Marc came out confirming this, saying that Joao Laporta dreams of signing Nico Williams and believes that in the coming weeks he will have solved Barcelona's financial situation, allowing him to sign Nico. Again, you cannot get more of a perfect signing right now this second for Barcelona than Nico Williams. The reason why in the midfield we have so many names being thrown about left, right, and center, because they all have their pros and cons and all this stuff. Nico is perfection, exactly what we need in our team. And of course, he's friends with half the squad. They have him and Lamine Yamal, rock, paper, scissors, left, right, and center. Get it done. Make this man, bring him to the Spotify Camp Nou this summer. I have seen enough. I don't care if he flops in the game against Germany. I could not care less. Get this deal done, and hopefully now with these positive reports about now Joao Laporta realizing that he needs to get his deal done as soon as possible, hopefully he pulls his head out of his arse and gets moving. Also, by the way, haven't seen the fan base in a long time be more united for a signing than Nico Williams. So not only do the board now think it, the manager, every single one of us in terms of the fan base is on board with it. So hopefully this operation can and will be completed this summer. Now, alongside the signing of a left winger, another priority for Barcelona this summer, of course, is to reinforce the midfield with a strong acquisition in the number 6 position. Now, we're hearing a lot of the same name when Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona prefers Amadou Onana over Mikel Merino for the defensive midfield position, but again, price will come into play. As we expect, it's very logical to pick Onana ahead of Merino. I think Merino's only an option because of how relatively cheap he will be available for, and of course his quality as well. Not as a 6, but more so, I would say, as an interior / an 8. So that there being an option is fine with me, and also kind of on the same lines as Joshua Kimmich. Now, Fabrizio Romano came out saying that clubs in the Premier League and Barcelona are circling for Joshua Kimmich this summer, but Sport Bild in Germany have come out saying there is actually a small chance that Joshua Kimmich extends his contract at Bayern Munich. The club wanted to cut his salary by 20%, but a deal is unlikely at this stage. So again, they're trying to keep him on the cheap essentially, and if he wants to make that move now to Barcelona, for example, on the cheap, now is his time, because I think that with the manager's backing, it can be a reality, especially for the price that we're hearing, about 30 to 40 million euros. If that price is the reality of the situation, then maybe it could be a possibility, but we'll have to wait and see. But there is another midfielder that is a new name that has been offered to Barcelona, because right now he is clubless. He is a free agent, and that is Adrian Rabiot. Gerard Romero has come out saying that Rabiot, his mother, of course, who is his agent, has offered the player to Barcelona, but he wants a salary of 8 million euros a year, which is around about 160,000 euros per week, which should be a very similar salary to Ilkay Gundogan. Now, I remember hating on Rabiot back in like 2019 when we were trying to fight between him and Frankie de Jong to sign. To be honest, Rabiot has been doing quite well, I would say, for his expectation and for my standard for him over the past year. I'm in a spot here where, like, if he's the only option, sure, but I would rather sign Onana, rather sign Merino, I'd rather even sign Joshua Kimmich as well. I'd rather spend money on those transfers than bring in Rabiot on a free deal. I know he starts for France, I know he's, you know, an important player for Juventus and all that stuff, but it doesn't really move me. I've just seen him be crap so much that, like, all of a sudden now he's like, okay, it rattles me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see if he's if he's offered. It means like I think he's just exploring the market. This could be true, not true. Maybe his mom is just making this a rumor so he can get more money from the clubs that are actually interested in him. But I don't think he's actually the profile that we do need as well, despite him playing in a deeper role with France alongside N'Golo Kante during the Euros. I don't know, maybe I'm just being biased, but if we do sign him for a free on this kind of wages, 160,000 a week, it's like, okay, we'll see how things turn out. It wouldn't be a sign that excites me. I'd much rather get Mikel Merino and, you know, Kimmich, who are kind of on the same profile, but again, you have to spend a bit more money on them. But that way, if you spend more money, you can offer less in wages. Because I think Barcelona's situation is more so a wage issue than it is being a transfer fee issue. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out in this regard. But again, Adrian Rabiot has offered himself to Barcelona as a free agent signing, and we'll wait and see how the club do progresses in the acquisition of a new midfielder. Now, alongside the two key signings in which Barcelona have to implement this summer, they're also, of course, in talks and in the market to keep two of their key loan players from last season in Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo. Now, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that during the month of July and August, Barcelona prepared to start negotiation with both Atletico Madrid and Manchester City to sign Joao Felix and Cancelo, respectively. It's now about the conditions. Barcelona want to know how much it will be involved in both deals, salary, fees with the clubs as well. On the player side, there is no problem for Barcelona signing Cancelo and Joao Felix. What remains now is to negotiate with their clubs, which has been in place in Jorge Mendes' hands. Hansi Flick has already given the green light for both players to continue. It's normal for Barcelona to publish the farewell announcement for both Cancelo and Felix because there is no buy option in their contracts. The announcement did not go well on social media, so the club deleted it. Both players are in the club's plans for next season. So there it is. We're going to have to wait and see what the conditions are, what Atletico Madrid and Man City will be asking for their respective Joaos. You could say, as long, again, we don't overpay, as long as we try to get a good cheap deal over the line where it's like relatively fair for us and for Man City, us and, you know, the two other clubs, I would say I have no problem. I really wouldn't want to keep Joao Felix. Again, a lot of stock in Ansu Fati, so, you know, my bias remains there. But I can understand why Hansi Flick would like Felix. He's a young player. He can play across that front four on the right, left, in the middle, behind the striker, and as a striker as well. But last season, he just missed out on the numbers I expected for him. I expected, of course, double digits in both goals and assists. He got 10 goals and 6 assists. But I think it's his best individual season, even though he's only been, you know, having a bench role. He wasn't starting a lot, coming off the bench and having his best individual season. I guess that bows into some sort of positive direction for him. But again, as long as we try to keep them on the cheap, I don't mind. If we go and spend actual, you know, money, I'll absolutely be fuming. Especially if we spend money on them and then not get a midfielder and a left winger. Oh, we spend our money on the Joaos. Hell no. Absolutely hell no. So we'll see how things turn out. I think Barcelona are in a very strong and positive position in regards to negotiations, because both players want to stay, both clubs want to get rid, and Barcelona want to keep. So it's now down to finding what the actual numbers and figures that Man City and Atletico are going to be asking for. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, El Capitano, or could we say El Capitano no more, in Sergi Roberto. He's officially right now, as of recording this video, and probably as I upload this video, no longer a Barcelona first team player. Of course, though, the club never announced his departure. It means that there are still talks to continue together. Alex Pentel from Renewal came out saying that Barcelona does not mind parting ways with Sergi Roberto, plus his registration can't be guaranteed either. His camp, who are assessing other options, are aware of this. Sevilla had made an offer, but Roberto refused it in the past 48 hours. Barcelona's renewal offer is valid until August the 10th. Very, very similar situation here that we have to what Messi experienced back in 2021, where he's kind of, contract expired, no longer with the club. The club still kind of count him as a player. They kind of promote him. They tweet about him and blah, 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 blah. Then once that deadline comes about, they absolutely bid him. So with Roberto, I still am fairly confident that he will end up staying at Barcelona. Now, Sport have come out saying that Barcelona have told Roberto to stay calm. His renewal is completely agreed upon and he has already been redacted. The club are just waiting to return the 1-1 rule to sign and register his contract. This is exactly what I have been saying for the past month. People doubt my ball knowledge. I'm telling you, I'm just an absolute visionary. I've been saying he's on such low wages. As soon as we get back to the 1-1 rule, we register a couple of the key players. Your Baldes, your Fermin Lopez, your Gavis. Then you're like, okay, we got a lot of space left. Roberto's earning next to nothing. Hop on, Roberto. Come on down. I see it clear as day. I would be shocked if Roberto is not here next season. Even though right now he's officially, on paper, not a first-team player. And right now, Marc-Andre ter Stegen is the first-team captain of Barcelona. There's no doubt in my mind that Roberto's going to continue. I'm fully convinced by that. But again, we'll wait and see how things turn out. It's still right now not the case. I will highlight this though. Of course, in a week's time, players are going to be returning for their medical checkups. Keep your eyes on Sergi Roberto. Will he be there? Will he not be there? Will he be there but the club will not publicize it with videos and photos? And will those leak? Will those rumors come out saying, oh, Roberto was there even though the club didn't announce it? Keep your eyes on that. If he's there next week for medical checkups and the club announces it like it's nothing, he's definitely staying. I'm fully convinced by it. But we'll wait and see. Nothing definitive as of right now, as Roberto does not have a viable, valid contract at Barcelona, and he's no longer a Barcelona player. Now, one of the biggest news that has come out over the past 48 hours, by the looks of things, is Hansi Flick's first big decision that he has made, and it is in regards to the battle between Eric Garcia and Inigo Martinez. Of course, in my goals video this week, I talked about key battles in which Hansi Flick will have to make big decisions in, and one of those was Eric Garcia against Inigo. We also talked about it on the channel last week, and it looks like a decision has been made. Luis Rojo of Marca has come out saying that Hansi Flick prefers Eric Garcia over Inigo Martinez. Some of the reasons is behind Eric Garcia can be used as a pivot. He has better build up and of course can score goals as a defender as well. There is a problem with Inigo's contract situation. He is not registered for next season, but he has a year remaining on his contract with a very high salary, around $130,000, $150,000 per week. With Eric Garcia, he's already registered, so there's no need to have any margin on the wage bill to keep him. So looks like Flick has picked Eric Garcia, and I said this in the Goals TV video, I'll say it again. Either way you would have gone with this, there would have been pros and cons. So if you pick Eric Garcia, you've gone young, versatile, already part of the squad, fairly low wages from the academy. You move. The con of keeping him right now is that his value is at an absolute peak. So if you want to sell him, it's now or never. With Inigo, left foot experience, had a good season for his first year under Xavi. The con, his age, very short term, and of course his high salary as well. So either way you would have gone with it, there's going to be pros and cons. And do I have a problem with Flick picking Eric Garcia over Inigo? No. But now my question is, what's the answer? What are we going to do with Inigo? Because we're going to have to pay him his salary for next season no matter what. The question now is, can we find a club that will help us pay part of it, all of it, or the majority of his salary? Because again, since we only registered him for one season, we have promised Inigo Martinez, we are going to pay you for the last year of your contract, whether you register with Barcelona and play for us or not. So either way, Inigo is getting paid. The question is, where's he going to play, and how much are Barcelona going to contribute to that salary? Again, around 140,000 per week, according to reports. If we can maybe find a club that will take on 70, 80, 90, that would be good. But what club's going to do that? Apparently, Athletic Club not too interested in the Inigo Martinez return. I still think he's good enough to play at a decent level as well, like top 10 in the top 5 leagues. I think he's definitely at that level. But what club's going to be interested? Who's going to take him on? Will he accept the move? Will he just want to sit at home and just get paid by Barcelona his full wages and chill? I have no idea. That's when the situation becomes very delicate. So we'll wait and see how things will turn out. Again, both these two players are expected to be taking part in the preseason in a week's time. Of course, Eric Garcia is going to the Olympics at the end of this month, so he will miss the majority of he will miss all of preseason in terms of games and involvement, so he should hopefully be there next week for the medical checkups and stuff like that. So we'll see how things turn out, but looks like Flick has given the green light and the go-ahead for Eric Garcia to be the 5th/4th choice defender over Inigo Martinez. Now, one player's future that needs a decision to be made soon, but it will be coming, of course, after preseason, as we all accepted, is, of course, the future of Alex Valle. Now, Fernando Polo Deportivo has come out saying that Alex Valle's contract, which expires in 2025, of course, next summer, has a clause that allows Barcelona to renew it automatically, which would increase his release clause to 30 million euros and his salary to over 1 million euros. If the club does not activate this clause by August the 1st, Valle would continue with a lower salary and his release clause would drop from 8 million to 3 million, putting the club at a risk that he could leave for less than half the amount of Marc Guiu went to Chelsea for. Barcelona wants Valle to start preseason under Hansi Flick, who wants to see him in action before a decision is made. This pretty much means that selling Valle is unlikely. We'll either keep him or we'll probably loan him out, or maybe try and strike a deal for like a buy option or percent of a future sale, something like that. But I think selling him directly will be damn near impossible. But this situation is very, very interesting. I mean, there's been a lot of hype of Alex Valle last season with his loan at Levante. Kind of ended quite dull. Didn't really have too much involvement with Levante. But we'll wait and see how this turns out. I think it's a very interesting move, very delicate move as well. And, you know, he's going to have a lot of good competition in preseason. And one, of course, the people he's going to have competition with is Hector. And there is some news on Hector. Sport came out saying that Deportivo Alavés have asked about the possibility of getting Hector on loan. For now, Barcelona do not want to rush, as Hansi Flick wants to see the player in preseason and then decide. So we could maybe see Flick say, look, Hector is really good, but he's not really good enough to be in the first team. We have a lot of people, but he's a bit too good for Barça Athletic. Let's send him out on loan, or you know what, he's too good. We're gonna keep him no matter what. If we keep him, maybe Alex Valle will have to go somewhere else, or maybe we don't renew his contract. So a lot of these futures very much interlink, but everything to be decided on the assessment of the manager during preseason. Now, a player that will 100% be doing preseason with Barcelona is Mikayil Faye. Of course, his move to Porto never materialized before the financial deadline of June the 30th, and now looks like he is going to be on that plane to America. Rosero of Mundo Deportivo is one who broke the news. Credit to him. He came out saying that Mikayil Faye will be a first-team player next season despite strong efforts from Porto to sign him. Both Deco and Hansi Flick count on him and don't want him to leave, and this has also been communicated to the player. And why is this? Is of course because of his move to Porto not materializing. Tony Juan Marti came out saying that Mikayil Faye's future at Barcelona remains uncertain. Barcelona wants to see him in preseason, but contacts with other clubs like Porto continue. Faye wants to play as a center back, rejecting Barcelona's suggestion to play at left back. He feels he has earned first team minutes. His future depends on his preseason performance and offers from other clubs, while Faye wants either regular playing time or a transfer. Barcelona feels secure with his contract until 2027. Fabrizio Romano also came out saying that Barcelona's request for Mikayil Faye was clear. 15 million euro fixed for any transfer fee to any club, with a 30 to 32 million euro buyback clause valid for 2025 and 2026, sell-on clause in case of a future sale. Porto, in the end, did not match those conditions. Hansi Flick already told Faye he wants him to be part of the first team next season. So there you go. So the reason why this transfer and now Mikayil Faye's future is different because Barcelona wants to sell to Porto before the end of the financial year on June the 30th. That's why the club are pushing. That's why Deco was traveling to Portugal and all this stuff. In the end, Zuberati, of course, sport director, goalkeeping legend of Barcelona for Porto, did not match those conditions. And now the situation is in the hands of Barcelona. What's going to happen now? He will commit and do preseason. After that, we're going to evaluate. If he does well, we're thinking, oh, bloody hell, can we fit him into the first team? He doesn't want to play left back. He'll only play at center back. We'll see if offers come in based on his preseason performance. I think in the end, honestly, if anyone matches this offer, 15 fix with the buyback and a percent of a future sale before the start of the season on like August 15th, I think the club will sell regardless, whether he performs great in preseason or not. The reality is we have such an overbooking in the defense. You have Araujo, you have Christensen, you have Koundé, you have Pau Barça, you want to keep now Eric Garcia, you want to have Mikayil Faye. That's 6 center backs for 2 center back, unless his flick is going 3 at the back. You're having 6 players for 2 player position. And of course you have Koundé who can play at right back, you have Mikayil Faye who can play at left back, you have Eric Garcia and Christensen that can play in the pivot right back and all over the place. I understand that, but perspective has to come in. You can't keep, I think you can maybe keep at a push 5 because you need 4 for a season. Maybe keep that extra 1, sure, but keeping an extra 2 is beyond the realm of compatibility. Maybe what happens is that Eric Garcia and Inigo both get shipped off and Mikayil Faye stays. That could be a possibility, but I think it all comes down to performance and of course offers coming in. So wait and see how things will turn out. But again, Mikayil Faye's transfer to Porto right now is on a halt. It is not going to be happening. He will 100% do preseason with the first team. After that, his future will be evaluated. Now, one position this summer that will remain untouched and 100% unchanged is the goalkeeping position. Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona will stick with Marc-Andre ter Stegen this summer, and he has confidence of Hansi Flick and the board. The club do not consider signing a new goalkeeper because not only their financial situation, but they don't want to sign an international level goalkeeper just to be a backup. To be honest, seeing a lot of ter Stegen slander, especially with some of the good goalkeeping performances this Euros from Villa, from the Turkish goalkeeper last night who made an absolutely unbelievable save in the dime moments against Austria. I totally agree with the club here. Look, is ter Stegen, could we use a ter Stegen upgrade? Absolutely. But there are other priorities in this team that need the upgrade first. Left wing, pivot, fullbacks, maybe even a striker as well. I think at least those 4 positions are ahead before we even consider revamping and reconsidering the goalkeeping department. I think ter Stegen, look, he came off last season. He had a fantastic season, his best in his career. The season that he just come off of, he was of course out for 3 or 4 months. His record on paper isn't too bad, but of course the eye test we've seen him make a few mistakes, but also seen him make a few world-class saves. Look at my season review video. I said in that video, ter Stegen's had absolutely a 50-50 season. He's had some absolute diabolical mistakes, but absolutely wonder saves. And that's what you get with ter Stegen. It's always 50-50 unless there's an absolute wall, concrete defense in front of him where he only needs to be called upon 1 or 2 times a game and he gets you out of trouble. So with that being said, I don't mind. Again, unless a ridiculous offer comes in, Saudi bidding 50 or 60 million, I would put a hold on the goalkeeping department. I personally would be like top 2, top 3 priorities for next summer. This also does mean, of course, that Iñaki Peña will end up staying as well. But there could be a goalkeeper from La Masia that could make the rise and challenge for a spot as the backup, and maybe even ter Stegen as well, and that is Diego Cochin. Mundo Deportivo came out saying the sporting management considers Diego Cochin an 18-year-old American youth goalkeeper who joined the club in 2019 from Mensa Foundation. They think that this is his time to see him in more action in first-team training sessions and friendlies, as well as in official matches for the reserve team in the Primera Division. As things stand, ter Stegen is untouchable, and he still has a long contract, and bearing any surprises in Iñaki Peña's spot as the second-choice goalkeeper is also confirmed. So internally, sports management and the sporting sector, they do rate Cochin very, very highly. Now, of course, I've heard this about Iñaki Peña in the past. I heard this about Arnau Dennis in the past. I still hear it about Astor Lago. I think we had reports a few months ago that I talked about on the channel as well. It's just always happening. Oh, this goalkeeper is going to be the next best thing. Oh, he's going to be the next best thing. So, unless he gets the opportunity, unless we see something, we'll wait and see. Of course, remember when Hansi Flick was first appointed as the Barcelona manager, we had a lot of reports coming out about this German goalkeeper that could be of interest to Barcelona as well. So, take this with a pinch of salt, but we'll see how Cochin does if he gets any opportunities in regards to the first team, training or any first team minutes this season as well. But again, in regards to the top 2 spots, it will very much stay unchanged. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, we have some more details on how Barcelona tried their best to keep Marc Guiu. Of course, Guiu's move to Chelsea is official, confirmed by both Chelsea and Barcelona. The €6 million release clause was activated, and Guiu has, of course, agreed to the move. Now, Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona have offered Marc Guiu a salary of €2 million, and he was promised a first-team contract if he started half the matches for Barca Athletic this upcoming season. He was not promised that he would be Lewandowski's substitute, but he was reminded that Lewandowski was 36 years old and needs rotation, and that Victor Roque could be loaned out due to FFP issues. Guiu's agents had big offers like Chelsea, and they pressed. Chelsea also promised his prominence, which Barcelona could not do. In any case, the player himself made the final decision, and Barcelona believed that not clearly seeing his protagonism in the first team influenced his departure. So Barcelona told him, look, if you start 50% of the B team games this upcoming season, next year you will get a first team contract guaranteed. We cannot guarantee right now that spot because you have Lewandowski, you have Victor Roque, but then again, Victor Roque's future's in doubt. Lewandowski is old, so you know what? Your opportunity is still there. In the end, Chelsea came and tripled his money and guaranteed him a spot as a striker for Chelsea, as a backup, I guess, to Nicolas Jackson. Again, we'll wait and see with that. I'm still not very confident on that regards. In the end, Guiu decided to take the Chelsea offer. So you cannot really fault Barcelona. I think that offer they made to him, absolutely perfect. Again, you have Lewandowski, you have Victor Roque, so there's no way to convince him that, oh, you're going to get some minutes next season unless there's going to be injuries or tactical suggestions, or maybe a big offer comes in for Roque or Lewandowski respectively, or unless you have FFP issues, all if, buts, and maybes. But with the guarantee from Chelsea, I guess that's why he made the move. But fair enough to Barcelona. I think they made a pretty good offer. I think they made the best offer possible to Marc Guiu. They didn't really dilly-dally, try to, offer him a contract under the rug, something that was, a bit hidden, that was kind of good on paper, but maybe not. I think they put their best foot forward. In the end, the player decided to go to the blue side of London. Now, as already discussed and mentioned in the video so far, 1 week today, pre-season at Barcelona will begin. Medical checkups, all the pictures with them in the treadmill with all these stuff on their chest and them running with the prime bottles. It's all coming out next week. And with that being said, that means planning for preseason is in the advanced stages. Who will be involved? Who will be trusted? All that is now in place. And 3 youngsters are said to be called up to the first team that are ones to watch out for this summer for Barcelona. First one up is Noah Darvik. Tony Juan Martins came out saying that with Barcelona's preseason beginning in just over a week's time, Hansi Flick has demanded the presence of several reserve team youth players, but one of them, who will be the one to keep a close eye on for, is Noah Darvik. Flick has been demanding him to be present on July the 10th, and Flick's assistant Hector Westerman has been following Darvik's development for almost 5 years now. Do not gas me up. Of course, we signed Darvik last summer for, I believe, 4 million with some add-ons, I believe. And he did pretty well for the Juvenil A and Cadet side last season. Didn't really get too much involvement with Barça Athletic, but the excitement is, second to none. This is maybe why we didn't really go for more of an attacking midfielder this summer. Maybe this is why we kind of let go of Xavi Simons, especially with Hansi Flick coming in, maybe trusting Noah Darvik in that position. But he's the one. I'll call my hands up. He's the one that I am most excited for preseason. So wait and see how that pans out. The next player that will get the call up the preseason as well is Angel Alecron. Of course, had some terrible injury issues last season, but now he's fully fit and he's said to be used during preseason, especially now with Marc Guiu not being there anymore. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Angel Alecron will be one of the youngsters who will begin preseason with the first team on July the 10th. Hansi Flick spent weeks updating himself on the players that he has at his disposal in the youth system, both through videos and internal club reports, and has decided the player will be one of those chosen, of course, in the early stages. No problem with that whatsoever. You're going to have only Victor Roque as a striker, with Lewandowski going to come back a bit later because of the Euros. Having Alecron there, no worries whatsoever. And the final youngster is Unai Hernandez. Sport came out saying that Unai Hernandez is one of the youngsters called up for the start of preseason with the first team on July the 10th. Barcelona would like to renew his contract as he has until 2025, and multiple offers to leave as well. The player will decide his future after preseason with the first team. Bit of a risk there. I would personally say, you know what, you want to do preseason? Gotta put pen and paper on a brand new deal. Of course, we talked about this in the last video, how talks are ongoing. Nothing advanced, nothing done quite yet. But again, it's advanced and it's in a positive state, but nothing, signed, sealed, and delivered quite yet. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. But again, watch out for these 3 youngsters in preseason with a lot of hype and a lot of expectation from both the club, the player, and even the manager. Now, on the topic of youngsters, of course, whoever's managing these youngsters, whether it's going to be for Barça Athletic, the cadet side, or juvenile sides as well, that's going to be a very important asset. And there is a coaching change in the Juvenil A side, and it is the Barcelona legend, Giuliano Belletti, who will be the new Juvenil A coach. Alberto Rogue of Gigantes came out saying that Giuliano Belletti is the chosen one to be the new coach of Barca's Juvenil A. He has been part of Rafa Marquez's staff recently. There are some administration procedures pending before it will be made official. So Belletti gonna be getting the go-ahead to coach some of the youngsters on the Juvenil A side as well. So he'll be heavily involved with who will be playing for Barça Athletic as well, with that connection that he has with Rafa Marquez, both as a players and as managers. That's gonna be pretty cool. So I guess another name of someone who, you know, represented the Barca shirt pretty well, especially in 06 in Paris. So this is a pretty cool appointment, and we'll wait and see how he does next season. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to La Liga, of course, the league that we play in, and some of the new advancements that will be implemented next season. Copa in Spain are reporting that La Liga have confirmed that semi-automated offside will be coming next season, the 24-25 season. However, still no goal line technology. Additional substitutions for players who will suffer a concussion will also be introduced. So let's say you use all 5 of your substitutions, someone's down with a head injury or a serious injury, we can then bring on a 6th substitution. That'll be a rule implemented, again, only for head injuries, I believe, not like broken legs or anything like that, only concussion. So that's gonna be cool. Semi-automated offside, that'll be absolutely brilliant. We're gonna sit there and wait forever, watch La Liga draw their absolutely shite, pathetic, and embarrassing lines, but still no goal line technology. Which, you know what, I cannot believe there's still no goal line technology in this league. Hopefully they got more camera angles in there so we can at least get somewhat of a decent view of the line if they don't want to put the actual technology in there. But again, some improvements, some upgrades, but still some upgrades also missing as well. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, well, firstly, of course, is your thoughts on Laporta getting this signing done of Nico Williams. Do you think he'll end up doing it or not, even though it's going to be his dream signing? Will he bottle it, or will he, you know, make some sorry excuse that we can't end up signing him in the end? Second, your thoughts on the midfield reinforcement. Who would you bring in? Would you bring in Merino, Kimmich, Rabiot maybe, or Onana? Thirdly, your thoughts on Hansi Flick selecting to pick Eric Garcia over Inigo Martinez. Do you agree or disagree? And finally, your thoughts, of course, on the future of the two Joaos. Do you think they'll end up continuing at Barcelona next season, and also under what conditions as well? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barça.